be our teachers. Again, as we go week through this year, we get to call you up, fourth graders, as leaders not only of this grade, but really as the leaders of the elementary division. And part of the honor is really getting to have you help us dive into one of the more difficult parts of Judaism, which is actually our prayer service. And some of our great rabbis actually said that the best way to understand all of Judaism is through the very book that you get to hold in your hands right now. And the only problem with that is that it is a very complicated and very difficult book, filled with very interesting but difficult prayers. And part of what we're asking you to do each week is to have you come up here, to grapple with our liturgy, with our prayers, with our service, and to be able to help us learn not only what it is to pray, but what we're doing as we gather in this space, to lift up our voices in song and in hope. And we're grateful to have the three of you to help take us into one of the most important prayers in all of Judaism.
Welcome to my tefillah. The prayer that I will be talking about is the Shema. This prayer is about us praising God. We are saying that there is only one God. In fact, I think it is very amazing that our ancestors prayed to the same exact God that we are praying to today. When we say the Shema, we are saying the same words that Jacob's sons were saying to their father when he was about to die. This was their promise that they would never worship idols. The questions that I asked the fourth grade students were, when do you think is a good time to say the Shema? And what do you think about when you say the Shema? The answers that I got for when do you think it is a good time to say the Shema? Maybe Kabbalat Shabbat, evening to feel comfortable, and Shabbat at synagogue. And for the question, what do you think about when you say the Shema? The answers were a river flowing, everything around you is inspirational and thankful. The one that I came up with is a zipper opening, and every good deed that you do, the zipper opens one more inch till the zipper is fully open. Then you are fully a part of God. I can relate this to my life by when a person obsesses over something that is not very important. For example, TV or money can be kind of like an idol. Not the kind that you pray to, but you devote more time to them than other essentials. Maybe you will forget to pray to God. Thank you for coming to my tefillah and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom and welcome to my tefillah. Today I will be telling you about a prayer called the Shema. The word Shema means to hear. In this prayer, it is telling us all to listen because it's trying to teach us an important message. The message in the prayer is about how there is only one God, and that is the God we will pray to. In the Shema, it refers to God as a king. The Shema reminds us that we should never pray to idols. It also tells us that God will be our ruler forever, and that it is our responsibility as Jews to pray to God forever. The Shema is not only the prayer that we know today. It's also 3 paragraphs that were brought together from different parts of the Torah. It was originally created to solve a problem the Jews had. They were taking the 10 Commandments way too seriously. They only followed those rules and thought that they were the only important ones. They did not bother with the other mandatory laws that the Torah commands us to do. Rabbis put those 3 paragraphs together to explain to the Jews that they must follow all of God's commandments. I asked my classmates some questions about the Shema. The first one was, why is it important for Jews to have a prayer that reminds us that there is only one God? Here are some of their answers. It is important because otherwise someone might trick us to believe in some other God, like when the Greeks told us to believe in Hellenism. It's also important that we remember that God is our king and we don't bow down and honor other kings in the special way that we honor God. My second question was, when you say this prayer, does it make you feel like God is in the room with us, watching over us? Here are some of their answers. Yes, it does, because when I pray to God, I'm making contact with Him in my mind, so I feel like He's watching. He is looking at me. Another answer was, it does because we are in a holy place. The final answer was yes, because when I pray to God, I feel connected to Him. This prayer reminds me of when I read. When I read, I only focus on what is happening in the book. When we say the Shema, we close our eyes so we aren't looking around the room, but instead focusing on the words we say and the meaning of them. That's just like finding a word in a book that you haven't learned yet. When I read, I don't pay attention to my surroundings. I'm absorbed in the book. When we say the Shema, we try not to focus on what everyone else is doing. We should have our full attention on the prayer. We also hold the duh sound at the end of the word aha, so we don't mistake it for other words. I can connect that to when I read because I try to read as carefully as possible to get the meaning of the sentence or the paragraph. I hope that next time you say the Shema, you think about the meaning of it. Thank you for coming to my Devar Tefillah. I hope you have a great day.
Good morning and welcome to my Devar Tefillah. Today I'll be talking about the Shema. The Shema is a prayer that is praising Adonai and thanking Him. It is a very important prayer. I think you should say it every day. On Wednesday I asked my friends some questions. The first question I asked was about the person who wrote the prayer. I wonder what he was thinking when he wrote the prayer. Should we thank God for certain things or should we just thank God Himself? One answer I got was we should thank God for keeping us safe. Another answer I got was we should thank God for just being Himself. Another question I asked was, what time of day should you say the Shema? Charlie said 10:40 because that is when we say it every Friday. Julian said anytime. I think he said that because he might think you can thank God anytime. Micah said we should say the prayer before you go to bed and when you get up. He said that because you thank God before bed for the day God gave you and when you wake up for the new day. This connects to my life because the time I was thankful for God was when I went to Africa because it made me realize that not everyone has what we have, and it made me thankful to have a good education, food, and a roof over our heads. Shabbat Shalom, and thank you for coming.
Shabbat Shalom. Beautiful. All three of you. How did it feel? You guys were amazing. It's fabulous. So it's a really big deal to get up in front of your entire classmates, not only as leaders, but actually as teachers, and grappling with our prayers and trying to find your own meaning in it. And all three of you gave us some wonderful things to think about as we go into the Shema. You know, it's a prayer that traditionally we do twice a day, in the morning when we get up and when we go to sleep at night. Actually, when we go into the V'ahavta prayer right after it, it's telling you should say these words twice a day. And the three of you gave us some wonderful reflections about why we're supposed to have these words on our mind. So on the count of three, we're going to say the words of Yeshar Koach. You've shown a tremendous amount of strength and courage to be up here as our leaders and teachers today. We can't wait for you to go straight to the next moment when you do so again. Echad, Shtayim, Shalosh, Yeshar Koach. Take a deep breath. Guys, we're amazing. I'm going to invite everyone now. We're going to rise for the